Aloha! It's episode number 7 of Chappy's Tiki Bar. This episode I pay the ultimate tribute to my favorite band, Trooper. This episode I'm going to have an exclusive interview with Jack of all trades, Stan, and then I'm going to make a bright white sports car cocktail. Then we're going to do some Raisin Hell chicken wings. And then I'm going to make Santa Maria boneless ribs. They're so good you'll say, Santa Maria, these are good. And then I'm going to do a 3 dressing up as a 9 3-bean salad. And tropical destination stories, all right here on Chappy's Tiki Bar. Aloha, and welcome to Chappy's Tiki Bar. I'm Chappy, and this is my bar. With me as always is Mookie. Now this is a very special episode. Mookie's grown out a mullet just for this episode. The reason why it's so special is it's a tribute to the greatest band in the world, Trooper. Hello, is this thing on? Hello, testing, 1, 2, 3. Trooper. So first up, we have an exclusive interview with the original boy in the bright white sports car, Jack of all trades, Stan. Then I'm going to make a bright white sports car cocktail. Then we're going to do some Raisin Hell chicken wings. And I'm going to make Santa Maria boneless ribs. They're so good, they'll make you say, Santa Maria, these are good. And then I'm going to do a 3 dressed up as a 9 3-bean salad. And then for dessert, in honor of the song Thin White Line off the last of the Gypsies album, Mookie and I are going to have cocaine. No, I'm just kidding. Mookie and I don't do cocaine. Do we, Mookie? Mookie.
Oh boy, cocaine's a hell of a drug.
Alright, so this is my first ever interview on Chappy's Tiki Bar. I'm very excited. We have with us today Jack of all trades, Stan. He has agreed to do an exclusive interview right here on Chappy's Tiki Bar to get to the bottom of this 45-year-old mystery of who do they think they are? And where did they get that car? So let's bring him out, Jack of all trades, Stan.
What the hell's with this dog? He keeps on humping my leg. Get down, you beast. Get down. I have hemorrhoids bigger than you.
Oh, I'm sorry. I don't know what got into Mookie.
I know what's gotten into him. The yeho. This dog's full of yeho. This dog's all hopped up on Bolivian marching powder.
All right, first off, it's great to have you on the show. Now, Mr. Jack of all trades, Stan, I think our viewers would really like to know how you got that name.
What, Jack? My name is Jacob Alterstein. My parents were Holocaust survivors.
So you're not a handyman of any kind?
No, I'm a partner in a law firm in Miami. The name of the law firm is Derkowitz, Alterstein, and Roseanne.
But the song, Boys in the Bright White Sports Car, is loosely based on you?
Well, this much is true. It was the summer of 1975. I had just bought a brand new Corvette Stingray to celebrate making partner in the law firm, and I took my roommate, Jerry, out for a drive.
Now, what did Jerry do for a living?
He was a garbage man. Now shut the hell up and let me finish my goddamn story. So we're driving down Biscayne Boulevard, and this bee flies into the car, and we start waving our arms in the air. And then Jerry used to have these cut-off jean shorts, and his balls used to hang out. It was very disgusting. So anyways, this bee lands right on his scrotum and stings him, and then he's really waving his arms in the air. And then this bee, he's coming for me. Now the song, it says you were honking at all the girls? What goyles? The bee got a taste for Jerry's nuts, and he was coming for mine. I think it was like the honey nut bee, and now nuts were like honey to him. So he was coming right for my crotch, and I went to swipe at the bee, and I hit the horn. Now we were just passing my neighbor, this old bat, Mrs. Craig. And she called the cops on me. She's this terrible, terrible little midget of a woman. I think she was like, used to be like a circus performer.
You mean like a cretin?
Well, how do you know Mrs. Craig was the one that ratted on you? Yes, I know Mrs. Craig called the cops on us because when she was this midget circus performer, she used to have the shtick where she would say a sentence and then repeat the last word and sing it. So she would say, the car was probably stolen. Stolen! So I thought the Hasidic Jews had like the side lock curls in their hair. Well, sometimes when you go to the costume store and they don't have any wigs, then they just have one that looks like Colonel Sanders, then you look like Colonel Sanders. Oy vey. Well, that's just fantastic. So next up on the show, I'm going to make a bright white sports car cocktail. Okay, I'm going to whip up that bright white sports car cocktail in a minute. But first, a little bit about the legend of Trooper. In 1975, Trooper was formed by lead singer Ra McGuire and lead guitarist Brian Smith. In 1979, they won a Juno Award for Group of the Year, and they also were nominated that year for Album of the Year. I'm just going to check my phone here. They do have some dates coming up. So they play in Moncton, New Brunswick on April 4th at the Molson Canadian Centre. Oh, and they're in Lloydminster on April 17th. Now, my brother played junior hockey in Lloydminster. So the deal with Lloyd is half the town is on the Saskatchewan side and half the town is on the Alberta side. So 50th Avenue divides the town. So the Alberta-Saskatchewan border goes right through the town. So that way, people in Saskatchewan, they can go over to Alberta and have a destination wedding when they marry their sister. I'm just kidding. Not everyone in Saskatchewan is married to their sister. Some marry their cousins. Hey, Paul! Looks like we're fixing to have ourselves a destination wedding in Alberta. Oh, looks like we have some breaking news. This just in, it looks like Lloydminster will be closing the zoo. It appears the chicken has died and they'll be closing the doors of the zoo because it was bitten by a rat, which was the other star attraction at the zoo. It seems the rat and the chicken had an ongoing feud as they were rivals for the number one attraction at the Lloydminster Zoo. Now the rat got jealous when the chicken got promoted to bookkeeper. So more on that later. Now, people often ask me, Chappy, does Ra McGuire have a restraining order against you? And I tell them, of course not. But I will say I've seen Trooper over 40 times. The first time I saw them, I was 9 years old on the Flying Color Tour. Now, I will say there have been once or twice in the 40 times I've seen them, I may have had been overserved during the course of the concert and approached Ra McGuire after the concert, and I may have told him I loved him. But I guess the best way to explain this would be to recreate the scene from Notting Hill. I'm just a boy in his girlfriend's unfinished basement asking a 69-year-old Canadian icon rock star to love him. All right, so I'm going to mix up that bright white sports car cocktail. All right, so here goes with the bright white sports car cocktail. I have my martini shaker. I'm just going to add some ice. So first up, I have some coconut milk. Just going to put a little bit in. Now the coconut milk's not very sweet, and I have some lychee, and I'm going to use that as a garnish, but I have a little bit of syrup from the lychee, and that's going to sweeten up the coconut milk. And then I also have some coconut cream. I'm just going to add that. That's also going to sweeten it up. And then for more coconut flavor, I have some Malibu coconut flavored rum. We'll do 1 ounce of Malibu. And then I have some Sailor Jerry's rum. So we'll do 1 ounce of Sailor Jerry's rum. And then I have some creme de cacao. That's going to give it a coconut chocolate flavor. This will add the chocolate flavor. So we'll do 1 ounce of the creme de cacao. And we're going to give that a shake. Now you might say, Chappy, did you just make that up? No, I didn't just make that up. Okay, I just made that up. But we're going to see how it tastes. All right. It's nice and white, like a bright white sports car. And then I have the lychee as a garnish. So we'll give that a try. Oh, that's nice. There you go. I just invented the bright white sports car cocktail. Whew. All right, coming up, I'm going to make some Raisin Hell chicken wings. And I'm also going to do my Santa Maria boneless wings. They're so good, it'll make you say, Santa Maria, those are good. All right, so I got, I'm going to make my Raisin a Little Hell chicken wings. I got them on a rack. I'm going to smoke them. I got some leftover rub. This is a turkey rub, so it has like some kind of poultry seasoning and stuff in there. I'll hit it with the rub when it goes in the smoker. Now the poultry you don't need to smoke very long. I'll probably give it a smoke for about an hour, kiss it with a smoke, and then I'm going to deep fry it, and then I'm going to make a special sauce for my Raisin Hell chicken wings. And then for my Santa Maria boneless ribs, I have actually 3 pork loin rib roasts. So I'm going to take my pork loin rib roast and I'm going to cut it in half that way. And then with a tenderloin or this kind of thing, you want to remove the silver skin or fat. So I'm just going to take a layer off there. So I have them cut into twos, and then what I did is I pounded it flat so it looks like an actual rack of ribs. And this is going to go on the rack for the smoker as well. I'm going to hit it with some Famous Dave's rib rub. Famous Dave says I use it on everything. So the pork, I'm going to smoke it probably 3 to 4 hours, and they're both going to go in my Bradley smoker. It takes these little pucks. This is apple wood. You can get different kinds of wood. They even have some that are smoked in Crown Royal. I like the fruit wood with the poultry and the pork. So we're going to get that into the smoker, and then I'll come back and we'll put the ribs on the grill, and then I'll deep fry the wings and make special sauce for both. So that's my Santa Maria boneless ribs and my Raisin Hell chicken wings. So I'm making my Raisin Hell chicken wings, but first, check this hat out. It is autographed by none other than Ra McGuire and Brian Smith, the original members of Trooper. Okay, so I cold smoked my chicken wings. I only cold smoked them for an hour, and I had a little leftover rub that was it was a blend of poultry seasoning that I had as a turkey rub left over from Christmas. So I'm going to make my Raising Hell chicken wing sauce. So I'm just going to start out with a little bit of generic chicken wing sauce. Now this should have butter in it, but I'm going to add a pat of butter. The butter is going to really help coat the chicken wing. And this is the best ingredient here. I have peri peri sauce from Nando's restaurant. Nando's does a grilled chicken, Portuguese style chicken, and the peri peri sauce, the peri peri pepper is an African pepper that's used in the peri peri chicken. So I'm going to give it a good schwack of the Nando's peri peri sauce. Going to go a little splash of apple cider vinegar, not too much. Some sriracha, and I have some Mexican hot sauce. It's Valentina hot sauce, but it's authentic Mexican hot sauce. So it's going to be spicy. So I'm going to add a little bit of honey for sweetness. So I got my chicken wings. I'm going to deep fry them in my Dutch oven. Do not bake chicken wings. They'll get all fatty and gross. So I want to deep fry them nice and crisp. I'm going to heat up the sauce and then coat the sauce after the wings are nice and crisp out of the fryer. So I'll get going on that, and we're going to have some Raisin Hell chicken. I'll say Raisin Hell chicken wings. So I'm just... that's my smoker there. I'm just adding this seasoning. And you can see the little pucks go on the side there. So that, again, that's the Bradley smoker. I have the heat completely turned off, so this is just a cold smoke. And you can see the smoke's already going. The bottom there, I have a little dish of water, so the burnt pucks go into the dish of water. That helps with the moisture and also with the smoke. So I got the good smoke going. Again, that's applewood. And now we're off out of the smoker and onto the fryer. So you want to get these wings internal temperature of 165 Fahrenheit. The oil, I like to use peanut oil. It has a high smoking point. So the actual oil you want between 350 and 375 Fahrenheit. And you almost want to like over crisp them. Like you want definitely that golden brown. So take your time with the deep frying. That's the important process there. And there's my Raisin Hell wing sauce. And give those wings another check there. So yeah, you can see those wings are nice and golden crisp. You might want to hit it with a little seasoning right out of the fryer, and then we're going to toss them in the sauce. They're a beautiful thing. All right, here's my Raisin Hell chicken wings. I should have called them Flamin' Ring of Fire chicken wings because they are going to be spicy. I got them nicely crisped up, deep fried, and then I coated them with sauce. I was very generous with the sauce. So we're going to give it a try. Now, check this move out. This is actually for my old roommate in university, Dave Mack. We were always trying to get the perfect chicken wing. And this is going to be the perfect chicken wing bite. So I deboned the winglet. Oh, that's nice. Really get the smoke from the cold smoke. I only smoked it for an hour. And, oh yeah, it's good sauce. So that's my Raisin Hell chicken wing. That's for you, Dave Mack. Next up, my Santa Maria boneless rib sauce. So it's just 2 ingredients, KC Masterpiece Original Barbecue Sauce and Dr. Pepper. KC Masterpiece Original Barbecue Sauce comes from, you guessed it, Kansas City. I once went with my buddy Rosie to Kansas City to watch some baseball games. I was there for 9 days. Actually had barbecue 14 times in the 9 days. I think the only fruit or vegetable we had the whole trip was the tomato-based barbecue sauce. So KC Masterpiece is by far my favorite barbecue sauce. Just stirring in a little Dr. Pepper. And there is my 6 boneless racks of ribs. It's come off the smoker. I put it on the grill. And I smoked them for about 4 hours. And then I grilled them again to, same as the wings, an internal temperature of 165 Fahrenheit. Now I'm going to let one of those bad boys rest. You want to let all meat rest. And I didn't sauce it on the grill because there's so much sugar in the Dr. Pepper and the actual barbecue sauce. So I'm just, it would probably burn on the grill. So I'm just saucing it as I'm letting the meat rest. So I have a quick Ra McGuire sighting story. So I saw him in the lobby of a hotel of the casino that he was playing at. I had sort of a joke I wanted to play. I'd literally been sitting on this joke for several years, and when I saw him, the circumstances were just absolutely perfect because he was surrounded by a bunch of, shall we say, mature women, and they were just sort of fawning over him. And I went up to him and I said, "Hey, Ray, so there's a guy from Parks and Recreation Services. He wants to talk to you. He wants to know if you have a permit for all these cougars." I got a little chuckle out of Ray, but the women around him didn't seem to be too amused. So I'm just cutting this on the bias there. Of course, I let it rest, and then I sauced it. I think I'll put a little sauce on the side too. That sauce is darn good. So I'm just going to plate this up. And there it is. It's very succulent and juicy. and like extra sauce for dunking. These ribs were absolutely to die for. Okay, so today I'm making my 3 dressing up as a 9 3 bean salad. 3 greens, 3 beans, and 3 dressings. That's all it is. You can use whatever combination of dressings, beans, and salads. It just has to add up to 9. So I am going to go with, for my 3 beans, chickpeas, some white cannelli beans, and red kidney beans. For my 3 greens, I'm going to do some rocket or arugula, some romaine lettuce, and some cilantro. If you don't like cilantro, you can substitute a basil or any kind of herb you want. And then for my 3 dressings, I got some Greek Mediterranean. I have some oil and vinegar dressing, and just some Italian dressing. So we'll go a little salt, little black pepper. I'm going to toss it, and that is my 3 dressing up as a 9 3 bean salad. Alright, so we're going to close out the show with best tropical destination stories. So please send any tropical destination stories to chappiness@yahoo.com, and I'll read your tropical destination story on my show. So this is not actually a tropical destination, but it takes place on a beach, and Trooper was involved, so it all ties in. This is actually my tropical destination story. So me and 2 other guys, we rented a car and we drove from Lethbridge, Alberta to Nanaimo, BC to see a Trooper concert. Now we'll call these 2 guys Bruce and Dick, because one of them was actually being a dick on this trip. So we rented this car and we drove all the way out to Nanaimo. Trooper was playing at a bar. We found a campsite in Nanaimo, so we decided to set up camp for the night. We found a really nice campground. It was right on the ocean with a beach. Trooper did not come on until later, so we set up our camp. And then the campground actually had an indoor games room with a ping pong table. So we decided to play a round-robin tournament of ping pong, where each point lost, the loser would consume a shot of Jack Daniels. The only problem was Dick, as we were calling him, started having a huge losing streak, and then with every shot of JD, his motor skills seemed to diminish. We pretty much buried him in a barrage of ping pong balls and Tennessee whiskey. So after the ping pong competition, Bruce and Dick thought it'd be a good idea to jump into the ocean to sober up. This, however, was a terrible idea, as it was May and the Pacific Ocean was freezing cold. Nevertheless, they both jumped in the ice-cold waters with their clothes on. It was starting to get late, so we needed to get ready to go into town to see Trooper. Luckily, the campsite had public showers. At this point, Dick had become incoherent and was having trouble standing. Bruce and I realized we needed to go back to the tent to get some towels. So we left Dick to have his shower. When we returned to the shower room, Dick was passed out on the floor by the toilets, completely naked, soaking wet, and shivering. So we did what any good friends would do. We went into his shaving kit and
doused him with shaving cream and talcum powder until he was completely covered. Now we were really running late for the Trooper concert, so we decided to call a taxi. Dick was still naked and shivering, so Bruce lent him a pair of his sopping wet tighty-whitey underwear. You can imagine the look on the taxi cab driver's face when he pulled up to the entrance of the campground, seeing a half-naked Asian man covered in some kind of white powder. Realizing Dick would not be able to get into the show looking this way, when the cabbie asked me where to, I replied, Site 26. Now it was starting to get dark, and this was a really big campground, so we were having trouble finding our tent. We had this taxi driving all the way around the campsite, and then around 20 minutes later we finally found the tent, got Dick tucked into bed. Now the meter was already at $28 and we haven't even left the campsite yet to get to the concert. So Bruce and I had a great time at the Trooper concert. I met a couple girls and invited them back to the campsite for some drinks around the campfire. It was getting to be the wee hours, and there's starting to be a crowd gathering around the campsite of ongoing partygoers. Dick was still passed out in the tent. Now at this point, Dick sprung out of the tent, still wearing Bruce's damp tighty-whities, only now the talcum powder was in caked-on patches, mostly in his hair. He was not happy. I don't know if it was because we had woken him up or he had remembered what we had done to him. At any rate, he went straight for the rental car, which was rented in my name, by the way. So he started kicking and body checking the rental car that we had used to go out to the West Coast in. And he body checked the side of the door, completely caved in the door, at which point I calmly asked, "Hey Dick, what you doing?" He just replied, "Zero deductible," and continued to kick the shit out of my rental car. Dick then went inside the rental car and passed out again. We ended up drinking until the sun came up. In the morning, when the campground manager came over and politely asked us to vacate the premises, he remarked, "Oh, and your buddy is flaked out in that car over there." I responded, "Yes, sir, he's been flaked out for 22 years, which was his age." So that is my best tropical destination story, and Trooper was involved in that one. So we're going to close out the show with a Trooper quote: "We're here for a good time, not a long time. Unless, of course, you think my videos are too long, then you're here for a long time." So this is Chappy saying, subscribe to Chappy's Tiki Bar and give me a like. We'll see you next time on Chappy's Tiki Bar.